Okay, so in this recording, what I'm going to be doing is installing Exchange Server 2019 onto Windows Server 2019. I thought I'd better get it out of the way since I've only got 10 days left, so I might as well do it now while I have the chance. Alright, so if you want to sort of get some basic, just some of the commands, for a list of the commands that I use to install it. What you can do is if you can just go to my site, which is macpczone.co.uk, and of course I had to trust it because I've already trusted it in this Explorer. And so if you just go to applications used, and it's at the top at the moment, but it might have moved down, so you might just have to scroll down a little bit to see it. So if you just go into there, and just don't worry about that. And so basically these are just some basic instructions. Well, anyway, I'll go through this part first. So what you first have to do is, and actually I just realized, it's actually hard to go to external websites, so you always have to have a Firefox installer handy, just because you don't, just to save time really. Because if you try and do it through Explorer, you get all kinds of annoying sort of pop-ups coming up. So right, so basically so these are two updates that you need in order to be able to install Exchange. So you have to download the first one. Right, so this one is the just a Visual C redistributable. So obviously I'm running 64-bit. So if you just run that. I'm not sure why you need this to install Exchange, but for whatever reason, it seems like you do need it. And I think sometimes some people say there's another update you need, but I found that you only need these two. Right, so this one is Unified UCMA. I don't know what that is, but you just download that. Alright, so that's installed. Downloaded, so just install that. I read it before anyway. Of course, you don't want to send information to Microsoft so they can spy on you. Alright, so that's finished. So now, the next thing you need, no, that's the wrong one. Right, so next thing you need to do is just run this command in PowerShell. I think some of these are I think some of these actually do get installed by the Exchange itself, but it doesn't hurt to just install them now, because then they just get skipped in the actual Exchange install itself. So just copy that. And where is it? So just paste that and just press return and just wait while it rolls through and just does what it does. Right, so it says success is true, so we can only presume that that must have worked. So if you just close that. And so now the final part is to do with the Exchange server itself. What I found is that before you could actually, if you had a Microsoft account, you used to be able to install the get the evaluation ISOs for Exchange. But what I noticed is that for 2019, they've actually made it difficult. So if you go in, it's not there. So you have to actually have a volume license subscription to actually download the ISO. So it's almost like they're saying that small time people shouldn't be able to like get hold of it to do videos on it or something like that. But obviously that's the decision they made. So what you actually have to do is you have to actually do a search. And so what I've done here, what I've put in here is actually the two names. So these are the two names I've seen it under. So essentially all you do is try either one and just do a search for it. And what you'll find is that eventually you'll come across a site somewhere which actually has it. Now, of course, yeah, it could be virus infested and stuff like that, but if you're only going to be testing in a virtual machine, you don't really care. So they can put whatever viruses they want on it at all. So you see, like, if you try and go here, so now you think that's Microsoft. And when you go there, you think, oh, it should have a nice download waiting for me. So you scroll down, and then it tells you how to get it. You got to go to the Volume Licensing Center. And of course, clicking on that is a waste of time because, you know, you have to be like a millionaire or billionaire to even go near that place. So what you essentially have to do is just scroll down to these different sites which might have viruses on them, whatever. But as long as you install it in a virtual machine, you're not going to care what viruses they put on it. And just make sure to watch your router in case it starts to send out some spam, well, not spam, but they might use you in a denial of service to attack some websites. So that's the only real thing you have to worry about. So if you've got it going through like a security router or say, what is it? You know, you're running something like OpenWRT where you can observe the traffic going out, then you'll be able to know if you've sort of infected yourself. But essentially, this is the part which is a bit undefined in that you have to actually find the ISO yourself, which is what I ended up having to do. And so I actually found two of them with different names, and they're both exactly the same size. So essentially, once you've found the actual ISO itself, you just basically double click it. And then what it'll do is it'll open up in the, because now Windows, I think Vista and above have like an ISO reader. So you don't actually need to, get something like Power ISO or something like, no, not Power ISO. I can't remember what it's called. There's this program you used to have to get to open ISO files. So now with the newer versions of Windows, you don't have to actually care about that. So basically all you do is just run the setup. It just starts going. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you should connect for. That's the other thing I should mention is that this is cumulative update 1. Basically, the cumulative updates always contain the complete installer. So I actually downloaded this like quite a while back. So there obviously will be other cumulative updates that have come out since then. But the only reason I'm showing you with this particular update one is because this is the ISO I managed to download and it worked before. So I know it doesn't seem to be infected with anything. So just click next. And well, it says no updates found, but okay. So now just let it go through the copying process. And I'm just going to say, just in case someone thinks that those copies of Exchange Change are dodgy, but well, basically they're evaluations anyway. So if you haven't got a license, they'll only run for a certain amount of days, and that's how Exchange always has been. So the fact you can download it from some sort of site which, you know, is unknown, if you're going to evaluate, it makes absolutely no difference from how it was before. It's still an evaluation, and you're still going to delete it at the end of the evaluation anyway. So it's not like it makes any difference to the sort of licensing. And of course, no one with any sense is ever going to use an evaluation and actually run their company with it. That's only people who are stupid that do that. Alright, so we're going to go through and so just accept the terms. So they want to send some spy information, so let's just do it manual. Because since it's an evaluation, you don't really want them spying. So all you want is just the mailbox rule. Oh yeah, and make sure to always automatically install server rules. That requires, because if you don't do that, you just end up in trouble. And just select the usual path, unless you if you don't need that split permissions, then well, yeah, just select. So now it's just checking to see if you installed all the right things. So of course, if you're missing stuff like those updates or those installs or the Active Directory, then it will complain. Okay. It's like I set the name a little bit too long. That's why you have to watch out. So I think I actually had this before, but I just forgot about it. So you just got a 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 10. Yeah, it needs to be 15. We'll have to run it again. Okay, let's try again. Something to remember, don't use a name which is longer than 15 characters. Shame they didn't tell you beforehand. But I think I just forgot from last time, because I think I got the same error before as well. But because it's been a while since I did the install, I just didn't remember. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so there you go. So just get your standard warnings. You always get these warnings no matter what you do. So as it's saying, it's going to make it 2019, so they're going to get rid of all the old servers. So if you've got any dusty old servers, Exchange servers running, they're going to be non-operational once you have this as a domain controller. So as you saw from before, you have to make sure that the name of the server has 15 characters or less. So that shows you that the old crusty NetBIOS code is still in these newer versions of Windows, to show you how like crusty some of the stuff that Microsoft is still coding is. So just click install, and I wouldn't be surprised if this version of Exchange is just as slow as the others in installing. So I'm just going to leave this to run, and we'll just see how long it takes. Okay, so that's Exchange finally installed. And as you can see from the clock in the bottom, you can see how long it took. So that's what it is about Exchanges. You have to be patient. And I remember I did an install with another server system, which only took 15 minutes. Yeah, so that's the thing about this is you have to keep adding stuff to the Yeah, you can see how slow things are when it comes to Exchange. Just have to get used to it, really. Of course, Microsoft will just blame the virtual machine and say that it's something wrong with your hardware. Alright, so there you go. So that's the server up, and there aren't any users yet. So all I'm going to be doing is actually, in the next video, I'm going to be showing the actual installation of the users. So basically, if you want to see that, then just come back and see how, one way in which it can be done to add a lot of users into Exchange. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.